Hi guys, thanks for joining me. So as you know, I like to paint up figures from the Lord of the Rings range at Games Workshop, obviously because I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. And the figure that I've just painted is Farmer Maggot. But before I show you the figure, I thought I'd introduce him a bit. So in the film, which is obviously Fellowship of the Ring, we see Farmer Maggot twice. You may remember the scene where one of the Black Riders rides up to a house, a Hobbit house, and confronts a Hobbit and basically hisses Baggins. Well, the Hobbit that responds is Farmer Maggot, and he says there are no Baggins round here, they all live up in Hobbiton, and then he points in the direction of Hobbiton and then runs into his house. The other occasion we see Farmer Maggot, we don't really see him, is we see his scythe above the cornfields, and we hear him shouting, I think, "Get off my land" or something, and his dog's barking when he confronts Merry and Pippin, who have stolen vegetables from his farm. So that's all we see about Farmer Maggot in the films. But in the book, there's a lot more to Farmer Maggot. Basically, Pippin, Sam and Frodo get lost, and they were trying to take a shortcut, and they accidentally trespass over Farmer Maggot's land. Now they're actually in the lane leading to the farm when his dogs notice the three hobbits, and Farmer Maggot tells the dogs to get them, type thing. He can't actually see them, and it's not until he gets to the gate himself, to the lane, that he actually sees the three hobbits. And one of them he knows very well, which is Pippin, because Farmer Maggot knows Merry exceptionally well. So anyway, the rest of the story is that when Farmer Maggot is introduced to Frodo Baggins, he kind of basically says, well, there's a surprise, and he asks the three of them to come into his house, and he gives them some ale, and he tells Frodo that there was a Black Rider who came to the house asking for Baggins. And interestingly, although there's shiver of fear on Farmer Maggot when the Black Rider is there, he doesn't run into the house. He basically tells the rider to go do one. The Black Rider tries to run him down, and Farmer Maggot is about to set his dogs on him, but the rider's too far away. So that shows quite a bit of courage on the part of Farmer Maggot, not like the guy who ran into the house in the film. So then Frodo's saying that he's got to leave immediately because he needs to get to the Buckleberry Ferry, and Farmer Maggot suggests that rather than them leaving now, the three hobbits have some supper with him and his family, and then he'll get the wagon out and he'll take them to the ferry. And that's what happens. They have some food with him, and he hooks the ponies up to the wagon, and then he basically drives them for 5 miles to get to the ferry. So Farmer Maggot is a much more of a character in the book. A bit later, the hobbits run into another character who doesn't appear in the films at all, and that's Tom Bombadil. Now, Tom Bombadil's a bit of an anomaly. I can't quite work out why he was ever included. But Tom Bombadil is a character who, how can I put it, he's almost like the most powerful character in Middle-earth. To give you an example, he asks Frodo if he could see the ring, and Frodo willingly gives him the ring. He just hands it over. Tom Bombadil puts the ring on, and to Frodo's surprise, Tom Bombadil doesn't disappear. And he just laughs and he hands the ring back to Frodo. So there's almost like there's no power on Middle-earth that could harm or do anything to Tom Bombadil, but he won't have anything to do with the troubles of Middle-earth. So long as his land is free, then he's happy. The reason I mention Tom Bombadil is because Tom Bombadil mentions Farmer Maggot, and basically he has a lot of praise for Farmer Maggot. And it's interesting that this like powerful person still had a great regard for this, you know, farmer, this Hobbit farmer. So with all that said, I shall get the figures and we'll have a look at them together. So as I've mentioned, Farmer Maggot had 3 dogs. This first one I'm going to call Fang. His dogs are called Fang, Wolf and Grip. This one's Fang, and I tried to paint him as a Doberman, a Rottweiler. And the way I managed to get the orange to blend into the black was there was a bit of wet blending going on, pulling the black down into the orange and vice versa to try and get that result. Really happy at the way this one came out. I always put like white flowers on my good people bases, if you like. I think the rim of the base, that bottom part where it's that dark green, I'm not sure I've finished all my other good figures in that colour. I don't know whether I finished them in a slightly lighter green. So this next one is Wolf, and obviously I tried to do it in a grey colour. Games Workshop didn't make any of the dog figures into something that looked like a wolf, so I've just done him in greys. I'm not quite certain about the paint job on this dog. He looks a bit weird, to be honest. And the last dog, which is this one, is Grip, and I've done him like red setter type colours, a bit of wet blending again to try and get the legs a bit darker than the body. So quite enjoyable paint job on these 3 dogs. As I say, I'm not too certain about the grey on Wolf, but yeah. So now we'll meet Farmer Maggot, and this is my Farmer Maggot, and as you can see, his scythes raised in the air, which you see the top of the scythe in the film when he's walking through or running through the corn crop. Really enjoyed painting this. It's been a while since I painted one of these figures from Games Workshop, and I've never painted Farmer Maggot before, so I'm really happy to have him in my collection. So there you go, guys, those are the 4 figures all together. As I say, they will sit on my shelf now along with all the other Hobbits and all the other good figures, the Gandalfs and the Aragorns. Actually, have I done an Aragorn yet? Certainly Legolas is, not even Legolas, is the Gimlis, yes, some of those that I've got. Thanks ever so much for watching. It's Sunday evening, so and it's absolutely tipping it down. You can probably hear it on the video. Look after yourselves, and I'll catch up with you soon.